Hi, welcome to your weekly health booster. I'm Dr. Angela Jaeggli. Today we're going to talk about one of the top energy killers, which is poor sleep. Poor sleep is actually a pretty broad category. With looking at our short weekly booster, we like to give tips on how to work on adjusting things that you could do maybe at home, and it's a little harder with sleep. But I am going to go through some of the things that just to get you thinking about something that you might look into either with us or with your integrative or functional medicine doctor. So first thing you've probably heard about, like if you're Googling, how do I get more sleep? Probably the first thing you're going to see is sleep hygiene. And sleep hygiene is looking at, is your room dark while you're sleeping? Do you have children and pets waking you up at night? Is your room cool? It should be cool, not hot. Is there something else in your room that's distracting? And that can be, sometimes people have carpet in there. It's a little allergy producing, and that causes a little bit of congestion. So that can be another issue. So all of these things, last one, don't forget, a TV in the room is an absolute no. And I know a lot of people love to have their television, but it is an absolute sleep disruptor. So really, those are probably the top sleep hygiene things that you can very easily assess for yourself and can make a huge difference. Where we get a little deeper into this is looking actually at certain hormone levels. So sometimes people who have difficulty with sleep have excess cortisol. Sometimes they have deficient melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. Sometimes they have other imbalances in their brain neurotransmitters. So I'd like to give you an example of this. So somebody that we recently treated successfully, what ended up being the balance or the imbalance for her was an imbalance of one of her sex hormones that was causing, like, she basically wasn't getting deep sleep, and that's progesterone. And then we also found that there was a little bit of imbalance. She was having some anxiety, and when we corrected some of her brain neurotransmitters, it's like that combination between the sex hormone and the brain neurotransmitter was perfect, and she gets amazing sleep. So these are things really that we need to check in you, or it's ideal. The next thing is sometimes there is a structural reason why people have difficulty sleeping, and that could be sleep apnea. This is something that has to be assessed by a qualified sleep doctor, and you have to go to the sleep center. Luckily, these days they have home sleep studies that can at least begin to tell you what's going on. But I want to share something I think that is really neat that most people don't know, is that if something is found, if you are diagnosed with sleep apnea, you do not absolutely have to use one of the machines. I know a lot of people are terrified of that. But what you need to do, is have a discussion with your doctor and also consult with a sleep dentist. They can actually many times, and I've seen this successfully in patients, manipulate your palate here so you have a more open airway to be able to breathe here, so your tongue doesn't fall back and block your ability to breathe. So it's really amazing, and I love connecting our people once that's figured out with a qualified sleep dentist. So yeah, lots of things to look at when it comes to sleep. Definitely get started at home. Kick your cat out of the bed, turn off and get rid of your TV, and then come see us for that additional testing, or your functional medicine doctor. Love to see you anytime. You can find us at sagemedclinic.com, and we look forward to seeing you next time.